Sun gone down.
To bring together a group of remarkable people.
To see if we could become something more.
So when they needed us, we could fight the battles
that they never could.
In time, you will know what it's like to lose. To feel so desperately that you're right, yet to fail all the same. Dread it. Run from it. Destiny still arrives.
Evacuate the city. Engage all defenses. And get this man a shield.
Fun isn't something one considers when balancing the universe. But this does put a smile on my face.
Where is everyone? Where is everyone? Nobody watching, nobody chat, Philip. It's like we're two Billy No mates. Sitting there in the middle of nowhere. Nobody. Anyway, welcome to THFC Till I Die, your home of all the Champions League and European football, as we look and see if Man United can do the Great Escape, if Newcastle can beat AC Milan and do us a favour and beat them from last year, and also to see if PSG can finish in the Europa League place, which Philip would be over the moon if that happened. We're talking about Philip. He is next to me. Good evening, Mr. Brady. How are we all tonight?
Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting couple of nights in the Champions League. Pity we're not in it, but sure, what can you do?
We will be next season.
Yeah, it was this night last year that I know it was earlier because of the World Cup that we did the Great Escape down in Marseille. Remember, we scored 2 goals to get qualified. Yeah.
Also remember going to AC Milan, spending 4 days in England, going to that game and feeling really sort of... do you know what? I said to Dave tonight, I was on the fan show, and I said to him, I lost my love for Spurs last season. I lost my passion for Spurs. I have it back again.
That game didn't help.
No, it didn't. Philip, what Champions League? Look, let's talk about the Champions League before we get into the show a little bit. Look, the Champions League is the reincarnation, really, of the European Cup, where the European Cup was the champions of 16 teams, wasn't it, back in the day?
Yeah, that's it.
That went in to the Champions League. Where do you think UEFA and football has changed from where Liverpool and Forest and Villa? Liverpool were dominant winning the European Cup back in the day with Villa and Forest. Where do you think it changed, Philip, for you? Do you think the Champions League, and it's been extended again next season, so do you think it's lost its value of what the competition should be?
Well, first of all, it shouldn't be called the Champions League anymore, because the Champions League, there's only one champion in each country, right? Now we've got 32 or 48 countries, whatever the hell it is, that get through to the group stage. It starts off with about 100 teams in it, so it should be called the Champions League plus the teams that finish 20 points behind them league. That's the proper name for it. It was better. Okay, there's more matches now. I think extending it to the 48 teams get through to the next round. That's going to be crazy. We're going to be wall to wall football, and all it's been done is for that.
Yeah,
money.
Well, look, I think that would be a great talking point in the roundtable discussion on Thursday, Philip. To really get our teeth into that. Look, but you look back in the day, you look at Liverpool winning and Aston Villa winning it and Forest winning it twice. Was there more of a romantic feel to it back in the day than there is now? Or do you think it's still got that mystique of if you win the Champions League, you feel you've achieved something in Europe?
Yeah, because prior to the Premiership coming along, those games were probably shown live on TV, and back in those days, live matches on TV were at a premium. They weren't 47 times a week like they are now.
Yeah.
You might have got one live match every fortnight or every couple of weeks or 3 weeks or whatever. And, this is great live soccer tonight. Nowadays, you're looking at the scale. Oh, Jesus, who's playing tonight? Oh, I won't bother watching that. Yeah. Back in the day, you watched the games because they were interesting, they were exciting. Okay, it was probably easier to win the thing then with only 16 teams in it, but you still have to go out and win, do what you did. So I think it's lost an awful lot of its gloss, and it's now taken over. The fans, I love the Champions League anthem. I mean, that sends a shiver down your spine.
It does.
But that's where the excitement ended last March, and we went to the Spurs AC Milan game, wasn't it?
Don't. It did. I remember you and me did some work on the channel for that show, Philip, and I was actually looking back at that work we did actually the other day. I was working away and I had it on in the background back when we were at the AC Milan game. And I'll never forget meeting two AC Milan fellas in the Spurs shop. You and me went for a bit of a walk around, didn't we? And I said to you, shall we interview these two Italian lads? We'll do
that. The fella. It was a guy and his daughter.
Yeah. Was it his daughter or his son?
Yeah, it was a guy and his daughter, yeah.
Oh, yes, yeah. Where are you from? Monaghan.
No, what Mayo. Mayo.
Mayo. That was it, Mayo. Westport. That was it. I never just
all the AC Milan fans at the ground. We picked two from Ireland,
Yeah, you couldn't. That's really just THFC till I die, isn't it? That's the channel.
Yeah, that was it. That was a very disappointing night. It really was.
Rain, and they wouldn't let us in because they got the ticket source. Do you remember the ticket machine?
Yeah, what's it called? The scanners weren't working properly.
We got the fella behind me. He was move your fucking. It was so funny. And then when you went in, right, you go into Tottenham, and I still get the same buzz now, like I did when I was a kid, when you walk into that stadium. And then we had all the Champions League, the light show, everything built up to a Tottenham win. And we got nothing. It was like zilch, zitto. We ain't going to do anything. So I wonder how Man United fans are going to feel tomorrow night going to Old Trafford.
Oh, I'll tell you one thing. I mean, I see Thomas Tuchel has promised to play a full strength. There'll be no let up against Man United tomorrow. No. Do you know what I can see tomorrow now? And this is, I remember a horrible night, an absolutely horrible night we had about 4 or 5 years ago against Bayern Munich in the new stadium when we lost 7-2 to them. Remember that?
Yeah. Thanks.
I can see Bayern Munich doing the same to Man United tomorrow night, to be honest with you. I really can. I think United, put it this, if Bournemouth can do it, I think United, unless they it'll be one of the greatest comebacks since Lazarus, if they come back tomorrow night and win that game.
Carl Simpson has actually took it another step further. He's put, good evening, gents. I've got more chance of pulling the model than United beating Bayern. Than the game ending in the draw.
Yeah. The other game is Galatasaray and what do you call them?
Yeah. When I bring it up, Philip, I've done the PDF here, so I bring it up here.
Yeah.
And let me bring it into here so it's a bit up so people can see it. Big up, Carl. Yes, and your eyes are not deceiving you. It's not any other channel on here. It is me and Philip. We are here, so I hope you're happy now. Hope you're happy about that. Now, Philip, Bayern Munich, Copenhagen, Galatasaray, Man United. I had a question set out for you, right? You look at that group, and do you honestly think, Philip, under Alex Ferguson or under any other manager, well, say under Fergie, right, in their heyday, would United got out of that group easily?
Yeah, well, they would have got out with a struggle against Bayern Munich, but they certainly would have got out of the group. But I'm just looking at it here, Dermot. If the results, okay, say Bayern Munich beat United tomorrow, okay, right? It doesn't matter what the other results are. United don't even make the Europa League next season.
That's the point. Yeah, I was thinking that. Could United be out of Europe altogether?
Absolutely. They've got 4 points at the minute, right? So they lose tomorrow night, they stay on 4 points. Both Galatasaray and Copenhagen have got 5 points. So it's a case of if Copenhagen, whoever, let me see. If United lose, Copenhagen or Galatasaray, depending how their game goes tomorrow, one of them goes into the Champions League, the other one goes into the Europa League, and Man United are out of Europe at this stage, which is probably no one could ever have envisaged that when the draw was made.
I've got it here. Bayern have already secure a top spot in the group, but the battle to join them in last 16 this time. Galatasaray and Copenhagen both have 1 point lead over United, as you said, and they must win at Old Trafford against the Germans champions. Hope that Copenhagen play out a draw in Denmark. So if United win and there's a draw in Copenhagen, I can't see them being a draw in Copenhagen.
Well, if United win and there's a draw in Copenhagen, then United will go into the Champions League.
Not the Europa League.
They'll have 7 points, and the other guys will have 6.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
But if either Copenhagen or Galatasaray win, right, that puts them into the Champions League, and the best United can hope for is the Europa League, because they will have 7 points, and one of the other teams will have 8. So there's the only permutation that can put United into the Champions League is for a draw tomorrow between the two guys, and they win.
Yeah, you look at the goal difference. The goal difference between them is sod all. -2 United.
Goal difference is on head-to-heads now. That's the way I'm.
Yeah, but you look at the goal difference there, Philip. -2 for United.
1, 2, and 2. 1, 2, and 2. -1. No, very sorry. Oh, I mean, that's going to be nervous 90 stuff tomorrow night. That really is. I would not like to be a Man United fan tomorrow.
No, I wouldn't. Carl Simpson's, that is good. You really confused me. I thought that has been sorted out, never to happen again, Carl. We do really apologise for what happened last night. We can only apologise and promise you that it won't happen again. Me and Philip are not happy about it. We've been talking about it, so we're really sorry to confuse you, Carl, and all our members and everyone as well who tuned in last night. We do apologise. We had no idea it was happening. By the time we did realise it was happening, I couldn't do anything about it. So we do apologise. Big up to Boris Britt with a Nornier in goal. They will bottle it.
Probably.
Poor old Colin. I feel sorry for Colin. Carl Simpson, it's okay. I've called Naomi Campbell, and she says I'm on for tomorrow. Oh, fair play to you, Carl. Fair play to you.
Man, Carl, let us know how you get on.
Yeah, let us know how you get on. But look, Philip, Man United, right, have really got a rich history of European Cup and Champions League football, right? Matt Busby, 68. Fergie won it twice as a manager. Twice runners-up, I think, as a manager as well. So 4 times in total under Fergie. Do you feel like this group, United, should have come out of it easily? Who do you blame? Do you blame the players? Do you blame Ten Hag? Or do you blame the owners? Where do you put the blame? Where do you put your blame on for United?
The bottom line has to be on the players, because you're 3-1 up against Galatasaray away in one of the toughest grounds you can go to, and you're coasting. And suddenly Onana decides to become banana, and he slips up, and they're gone. I mean, you got to blame the players for that. Copenhagen, none 21s are after winning again.
Did you see the goals?
No, I didn't. No.
The first one, Philip, it was like watching Maradona. This play, right? He darted in the penalty box, and he beat the keeper on the near post, and right at the top of the goal as well. It was on Spurs play, absolutely unreal. It was on a big up, a good win tonight. We're still unbeaten in that competition, I think, the under-21.
Well, I think we lost to Colchester, didn't we? We lost one match anyway.
Yeah.
I think.
How pleased are you to see everyone pulling in the same direction at Tottenham? Just very quickly, because we're
absolutely. I mean, all the teams are doing well. Poor old lady's got a bit of a hammering yesterday, but she can't win them all.
No. No, and of course we are covering the that's it. That's Jude Soon's up. What a name.
We got him from Chelsea, actually. We got him from Chelsea.
We did. Was that in the summer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought, yeah. I think it was one of the ones we broke as well on this channel. We got that deal done.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
we
good player.
Yeah, very good player. But look, great for the under-21s. Me and Philip will give you. I mean, I think we have to start covering the under-21s as well, Philip. I think.
Yeah,
I
they
think
do.
we're going to have to.
No.
And he's half Thai. That's why his middle name is. I never realised that.
I didn't realise it was that. It was yeah, very good, very good.
But look, let's go for the other teams in the group. Bayern Munich, Philip. 13 points, 5 wins, 4 wins, 1 draw. I mean, unstoppable. Where
They'll
you going?
They'll be hurting after Saturday.
Yeah, they will be.
They got beat 5-1 by Eintracht Frankfurt, and they'll be looking for blood tomorrow night, hopefully.
And then Galatasaray in Copenhagen. United have never beaten Galatasaray, apparently, home and away in Turkey at all. So where are you going with Copenhagen, Galatasaray tomorrow?
Well, I think Copenhagen have the home advantage, don't they?
Yeah.
I'd probably say I think Galatasaray might win that. I think Turkish passion. I think Galatasaray might just swing that, and they'll go through to the next round.
But can you see it happening if news is filtering, say Bayern Munich are 2-0 up? That Bayern Galatasaray and Copenhagen say, "Hang on a minute, lads, let's take what we've got."
Someone has to win that. Someone has to win that game to go through, don't they?
Yeah, but even if they lose, they're in the Europa League. So can you see them thinking, "Do you know what? We take what we can get."
Don't know. Actually, no. I think who's got a better goal difference? Is it Copenhagen have a better goal difference?
No, Copenhagen got -1 and Galatasaray got -2, the same as United.
Tomorrow, that means Copenhagen will go through.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. But do you know what? Do you know what? I'm hoping Galatasaray go through because they might decide they might need to keep their squad big, and they might keep Tanguy and Ndombele.
Oh, he's already coming back in January, by the way.
Yeah, but they might change that. Apparently now he's had a good session with the trainer over the last couple of weeks, and things aren't just as bad as they were there.
You mean he had a good session with the kebab man?
Maybe he had, yeah. But no, that's what I'm saying. Like, if they're in the Champions League, there's more chance of them hanging on to him. You know?
Well, look, you look very quickly on Ndombele, Philip. Where has it gone wrong for him? What you've watched a lot of football, a lot of players over the years. You've seen good, bad, and the bloody ugly. Where is he in your sort of recommendations as a player? Is he ugly, bad, or just awful? Or do you think there's hope for him?
The guy has got so much talent. It's a shame that he's not able to. He's putting his own, I'd say, lack of discipline in keeping his diet proper, stuff like that. I think he's probably one of the most skillful players ever signed for Spurs. Probably one of those with the worst attitude, you know. And it's gone wherever he's gone. He went to Lyon last season, and Galatasaray this season. Same problem.
Yeah,
will not keep eating junk food, overweight, doesn't train well. Now, believe me, he may have suddenly realised that he's going to run out of chances soon. And maybe he'll make something of his life at Galatasaray. But it's a shame because there's been a few players down the years like him. I think I can remember back Frank Worthington. You remember Frank Worthington back in the 70s there, played for Leicester. He was a great player, but he was more chasing tail more than playing football. You know, that was his problem, you know?
Georgie Best.
Well, Georgie Best was a genius. You know, there's been a few of them. There's been a few of them down through the years.
What do you rank?
We've got,
but Dele Alli had more issues than we all realised. And look, I feel bad for giving out about Dele Alli once we knew what he was going through.
Oh, yeah, true enough. Yeah, true enough. Yeah.
Now, you look at United there before we move on to Newcastle, Philip, and it's just something that struck me. We'll buy and play a full-strength team. We have covered that, so we're probably saying yes. But Ten Hag, is this the last stand? If he loses tomorrow night and goes out of Europe altogether, and then lose to Liverpool on Sunday, which we are covering on here, do you think he could be on the way out?
Well, there's some excuse losing to Bayern Munich, and there's some excuse losing to Liverpool. I think if there's going to be a game that killed them, it's the one on last Sunday against Bournemouth, or Saturday, when they lost 3-0 at home to Bournemouth. That should not happen to a team like United. And the United fans have been patient with him But I think the patience will run out. Okay, if they get a result tomorrow night and get a result on Sunday, or even a result in one of those matches, he'll buy himself a bit more time. But if they lose all those 2 games and make it 3 in a row, then I think his days are numbered.
Are you like where Column's been coming from, that United cannot afford to sack him? And do you liken Ten Hag to Fergie in the early years of his management regime at Man United, or do you think it's 2 different managers that can't be connected in any way, shape, or form?
No, I don't think you can compare Fergie to anybody. Plus, when Fergie was the manager of the club, United, okay, another one doing great, but he had stable ownership. And the owners backed him. They weren't in a shit show. Pardon my pun.
Well, there were, because wasn't it the time Michael Knighton took him over and they had all that?
Oh, that was around that time, yeah, but that didn't really affect Fergie. That didn't last too long. But the Glazer thing is running on forever, and that's affecting the club badly, and it's dragging everybody down, including the manager. Now, whether they can afford them to sack him or not, that's a good point. Maybe they can't. Maybe they'll have to hang on to him until the end of the season.
So what's the difference then, Philip, right, of Fergie back in the day, really struggling, United going nowhere, fans wanted them out, to Ten Hag, who's got world-class players at his fingertips, and he's struggling? So I can link it that way. That's why I'm linking it. Both managers need a result. Fergie needed the FA Cup in 1990 to save his job.
Yeah.
Ten Hag needs something to save his job. Do you think Fergie's having a quiet word in the owner's ear, saying, give him time, give him time? Or do you think, do they take any notice of Fergie, the ownership?
I think they'll have to. I mean, you'd have to take some notice of what he says. Whether they act on it or not is another thing, But I just bring up Carl's comment is very good coming up here about Fergie and Den Haag.
Oh, here we go.
The fact is, Fergie had world-class players. Ten Hag has got with the dreadful attitude. The United attitude, there seemed to be a split in the United dressing room. Remember when Ronaldo was there? I reckon there was a split. And that hasn't gone away. It seems to be still there. Yeah. And I think as long as you've got a split with half the team wanting the manager and half not wanting the manager, you're never going to get anywhere.
So what's the difference then between Fergie at United's lowest point, when he was on verge of getting sacked then, and Ten Hag now at his lowest point? What's the difference in managers? What do you know what I mean? Why would the player not listen to Ten Hag but would listen to Fergie? What's the difference?
See, an awful lot of we're hearing an awful lot that Ten Hag's this and Ten Hag's that. And a lot of that's coming from social media, through social media. In Fergie's day, it wasn't there, so the pressure was less. Right, we didn't hear half what was going on in United, except what the newspapers would report. Nowadays, every tittle tattle comes up on social media, and that creates pressure where maybe there is no pressure. They're inventing the pressure. So I think the United board showed very good patience with Fergie, and they probably had to. It took them 4 or 5 years to really get established at United, but Ten Hag will not get that long, because nowadays every team wants instant fix. You see it in our club. We lose a few games and the Ange Out Brigade suddenly comes out of the woodwork. Crazy. Crazy stuff. Ten Hag has had a season and a half, right? To be honest with you, I don't think he was a better manager when he was with Ajax. Maybe the players he had at Ajax responded to him better.
Yeah.
But at United, he's got problems in that dressing room.
But Fergie, United had the best youth system in the world. So what's gone wrong between Fergie leaving, United having stable foundations, strong foundations, right? Capable of going on probably win more Premier Leagues than they did. Pardon me. And see how they are now. Where did it fall apart between Fergie leaving and Ten Hag? Where do you think it all went wrong for United? Because you look at this team, bottom of the league in the Champions League, that United shouldn't be there. This is Man United, one of the most successful teams in Europe. Should not be struggling. No disrespect to Galatasaray or Copenhagen. So where's it all fallen apart in your ways, Philip? You've seen. Is it the same what happened when Busby left? I keep going back to that. But it's the only reference I have.
I don't remember that far back. I remember Busby leaving just about, but I don't know the ins and outs of it, But I think the problem is when Fergie left United, right? They had a stable. The ground wasn't falling down. The Glazers the Glazers were the owners, but they hadn't milked the club for as much as they milked it for. Now nowadays you've got the ground. The Old Trafford now resembles, to me, is an absolute mirror image of what's happening in the dressing room. It's falling apart.
Yeah,
for United, and I don't think Ten Hag is the man to do it. I don't think he's the man to fix that. Many have tried. Okay, who did they try after Fergie? They tried David Moyes, right?
Yeah,
didn't last. They tried Mourinho, didn't last.
2-3 seasons.
They didn't. They tried Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who probably made the best fist of it, to be honest. And now they've got a guy who they thought, because of his reputation in Holland, there's a big difference between the league in Holland and the Premier League. Really. Well,
you look at when Busby left. They had, what was his name, took over from Franco Fowl. He took over. Then Busby came back, and then they had Tommy Dock. He took over, was a bit successful. It took him to Fergie came in to stabilize the club. I think United are out of control. I think United are going down the spiral very, very badly. And
Dermot, United under Franco Fowl and Tommy Dock, they were always a top 6 club, though, regardless of how bad things were. They mightn't have been winning that thing, but they were always a force to be reckoned with, you know, except in 73 when they got relegated. That was the only season that they really had a problem. Dennis Law backheeled the ball into his net.
A few comments here. Fergie left at the right time, says Carl. He knew things were turning sour, so he got out.
Possibly, yeah, possibly.
We've got a great point. The Premier League is a huge step up from the Holland League. It is.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's
but no, I disagree on that slightly, because you look at, say, Arsene Wenger, right? I know he managed Monaco in France, but he came over from a Japanese league, and he brought over all his new stuff. He changed the face of football, how we're watching it now.
Yeah.
Do you think time for the old type managers to manage the old ways? We need to go back to that.
Yeah, it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen.
Do you think we need to go back to it?
Maybe we need to, but it's not going to happen. What's happening now is that you've got the likes of young 40. Look at the average age of the manager in the Premier. Eddie Howe's about 40. Lego Man is 42. Who else have we got? The guy at Brighton is young. The guy at who else am I looking at here? Southampton. Remember else?
Andrew's only in his 50s.
Andrew's 58. Andrew's one of the senior managers. Who else have we got? Chelsea. Mourinho's or Pochettino's only in his 40s. Yeah. The Fulham guy's only in his 40s. They're all in their 40s. You know, it's a younger. Whereas back in the 70s, all the managers were in the 60s.
Yeah,
that's all changing now. Yeah. You know, so the likes of Sam Allardyce and all them, they are classed as dinosaurs. You know, they're never going to come back. They might manage lower league teams, but not Premiership teams.
Well, Big Sam could be getting the Ireland job.
If you were bad under Stephen Kenny, God help you. God help us when Sam.
I wouldn't mind. No, I'm being honest. I wouldn't mind Big Sam taking us over.
Well, I'd be your Stephen Kenny to that now, I'm afraid.
They're going to announce the women's manager before Christmas, but they've already talked to candidates for the Ireland job.
Right. So I'll wait and see what happens.
But right, where are you going with this one then, Philip? Who's going to win? Who's going to come second? Who's third, fourth in this group?
I'm going to say Bayern Munich are going to win it, and Galatasaray are going to qualify, and United are going to go out.
So you're going to have United,
Copenhagen in the Europa League.
So you can have Bayern Munich and Galatasaray Champions League, and cut me out. God,
Copenhagen in the.
Do you think if they went out of Europe completely, Ten Hag could be sacked that night? Forget the Liverpool game.
They're never going to sack him with the Liverpool game coming up on Sunday, because if they did that, it would give Liverpool a huge advantage. I
think Liverpool got a huge advantage anyway.
They have, yeah, but even worse. Imagine going to Anfield with no manager. You imagine the stick the team would get, the fans would get. No, they'll not sack him tomorrow night. They'll sack him if they lose to Liverpool. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, Stephen. Carl says Stephen Kenny still gets a mention.
That's my fault, Carl. I'll put my hand up for that. I didn't want to start him off,
Oh, dear. And what's the point? It says, what's the latest injury news, guys? Also, transfer late. The transfer news is I'm still waiting for some news to come true. A little bit in the latest on the injuries. I don't think Philip was around when I said this earlier. I don't think I've got it. Madison is going to be back in February. Van der Ven's back in January. Bentancur's back in February as well. but we are looking at. I'm hearing we are in for the Galatasaray defender, Nelson, for 10
Wilson
million.
Nelson, yeah. I bet actually we're watching him tomorrow night now, right? See how he gets on against Copenhagen.
Anyway, Shamu here, Philip, has got my local team, Auckland City FC, are playing Al Ittihad tomorrow at the Club World Cup 2. Tomorrow or Thursday.
Very good. Well, good luck to them.
Let
Then
me know when that's on.
beat the Saudi money.
Yeah, if it's on, Carl, Shamu, and you want me to do a watch along for it, let me know. I'll do a watch along with that with you, man.
What was I going to say to you? Troy Parrott's doing well in Holland. He scored another goal the weekend. Yeah.
What's the point? It says, yeah, because he doesn't want to play for them. He wants to leave. That's why he's not getting in the Galatasaray team. He's really made a big stink up there. He wants to get out of Turkey, and he wants to come to Tottenham. So that is what I'm hearing. Yeah, it's down to 10 million. We can actually get him for 10 million. He was 25 in the summer. We can pick him up for 10 million in January.
Knocked the door down to get hold of him.
Yeah. And then Carl Simpson says Stephen Kenny is on the redemption arc. He's getting the Ireland women's job, and then we're back at feck off.
Yeah, I heard he changed his name to Stephanie Kenny and he's going to wear a wig.
God help the women's league if he
just
gets
to annoy you, David.
Yeah, I know he would do. Now, Dortmund, PSG, Newcastle, Milan. This is now. We all know who Philip's going to be supporting in this one. We all know the club Philip is going to be backing. He's going to be wearing the shirt tomorrow as PSG. Now, PSG are guaranteed at least third and the Europa League. There is a question there, Philip, and I'm really shocked at that. But if they win in Dortmund, and they will go through the Champions League knockout and send Newcastle Milan out. If PSG lose, then they will need Newcastle and AC Milan to draw to go through. If PSG draw in Dortmund and Milan win or draw, then PSG will go through due to their superior head-to-head record. However, there is a however and a but. If PSG draw and Newcastle win, the Geordies will go through as they have a better head-to-head record. This group is this group is confusing.
This is the Einstein group. You need to be a mathematical genius to work it out.
Now, we are covering this game on Wednesday, Newcastle, Milan. So don't worry, Geordie and everyone, we will be covering this. Where are you on this, Philip? Look, I want to start. I'll start with the question. Look, I've got you done the question. I'm going to bring up your question, Philip. But I'm going to bring up this one. This is one. Are PSG have PSG gone backwards in this season's Champions League?
Yeah.
Have they gone backwards as a club?
Yeah, they have. They always seem to bottle it in the Champions League. I mean, they go to Newcastle and get beat 4-1. Right. Now they're actually relying pretty much on Newcastle and Milan draw tomorrow night to get them through. That's the only result they'll guarantee them coming through. You all right?
Have you read what Carl's just put in?
Yeah. Just save it for a minute, like
I do.
Carl, you put me off joke here.
I didn't want to say anything to him, but us have all got together and got your dinner for two with Stephen Kenny. Merry Christmas, mate. Get him to sponsor the channel. That's what we get. Stephen Kenny to sponsor the channel and put a bit of money into our channel. We'll take that. Or the FAI to sponsor our FIA to sponsor our channel.
Let's back at the ranch anyway. Dortmund beat PSG tomorrow, which I think they probably will, right? That leaves Dortmund home and hosed. They're there anyway, right? Yeah. Home and hosed. That leaves PSG with 7 points, right? If Newcastle draw an AC Milan, PSG will scrape in by the skin of their teeth, right? I fancy Newcastle to beat AC Milan tomorrow night. I've just a sneaking suspicion they're going to do it, and that means PSG Europa League, here we come, and that's it, and that's where they deserve to be, because a team of rain made up of egos, big money, and very little else.
Could it be that PSG could go out of Europe altogether? Or they're guaranteed at least third?
No, they're guaranteed that. They're guaranteed because if Newcastle and Milan draw, that's 6 points each, right?
Yeah.
If Newcastle win, that's 8 points. They're still going to finish third. The lowest they can finish is third.
Look, Yeah, we've got a few people here. We've got what's the point saying, Dermot, have you looked at the Ukrainian defender? Didn't he play against Ireland, Philip? I think he did.
We could have done, yeah.
Yeah, he is. And I've seen him play. He is very good. I saw him playing against Italy in their do and die European match. Very good defender, absolutely. Yeah, he's quality. I would take him. And what's the point of saying his anticipation and awareness is second to none? It is. Look, for me, Philip, I would love PSG to go into the Europa League for one reason and one reason only. I think it'd be the kick up the ass that they deserve.
Yeah,
because they think they have a God-given right. That I think they're trying to act like the Galacticos of European football, like Real Madrid did back in the day. PSG are run by a bunch of people that have no interest in football, have no interest that the French league is one of the worst leagues in Europe. And everyone complains about the Scottish league. The Scottish league has more talent in that than the French league does, to be fair. And I think PSG are just, as you say, full of egos, full of money merchants that want money. Have you?
How many players? How many teams we got a player that wants to say in the picking of the team, like Mbappe did? I mean, what manager could live under those circumstances? I'd say Pochettino was glad to get out of that place.
I mean, Philip, look, Simon Jordan said at the time, it's the ridiculous thing that actually, if he wanted to go, let the man go. Yeah. They're trying to, it's like Mbappe is their milk cow.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like he's the one that draws the crowds.
Yeah, that's it.
Are the French league that desperate to think that one player can make a difference?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I saw Mbappe play against Ireland at the Aviva Stadium, and to be honest, it was hard to know he was on the pitch. He did nothing, So anyway.
And so, where are you going with it? Look, I would love Newcastle to go through into the
I
Champions
would
League.
love Newcastle. Of all the British teams that are left in the thing, okay, I know Arsenal are gone. We'll not mention them. They're gone through anyway. I would love Newcastle to get through. I mean, I know we hammered them yesterday, but I have a soft spot for Newcastle. Their fans are brilliant. Yeah. I mean, you saw that the ovation the fans gave the team after the match yesterday. It really was, and half of them didn't even have shirts on. These guys go around with it. Yeah. So I think the Newcastle fans will be worth a goal to United tomorrow night. To Newcastle United tomorrow night.
That was you, wasn't it, Philip? You're in that crowd yesterday with your top off.
Yeah. But no, seriously though, they will that ball over the line.
No.
I know they're out on their feet, but they'll find the energy tomorrow night.
Do you
think the next league match they're playing?
Yeah. Do you think a packed St James's Park, the Geordie Roar, the Newcastle fans behind him, do you think that will give them that extra 10%?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, that being said, you have all the AC Milan fans there, the Curve Sud that you call them. They were at the Tottenham Stadium in March. They make a lot of noise as well. So it's going to be some spectacle. That's all I can say. It'll be a huge spectacle on Wednesday night.
Yeah. So what's your four going out of that group, Philip? I'm
going to go for Dortmund and Newcastle to qualify.
Yeah.
And PSG to go into the Europa League.
And I know you've done a question, Philip, so I'm going to ask it. You've very kindly done it as well, so I am going to ask it. Can Dortmund do Newcastle a favour? I think they can.
They can if they beat PSG, yeah. Then it's up to Newcastle to do the business themselves. They have to win tomorrow night. There's no way around it. They could, let me just see what the permutations are. If they drew tomorrow night, 6 points each, who would go through then? Who's got the better head-to-head?
Newcastle got the better goal difference. No, the goal difference at the moment is Milan on -4, Newcastle 0, PSG 1.
Yeah, but it's done on a head-to-head over the previous.
Well, Newcastle they've got a better head-to-head over PSG.
Yeah, they've got better. But the thing about it is Newcastle need to win. If Newcastle win, that's irrelevant. PSG and Newcastle don't come into the equation because Newcastle have to win. They'll go ahead of PSG. If they draw, they're still behind them. So it's Newcastle and Milan is the one we got to watch. Yeah. If it's a draw tomorrow, who goes? Say Dortmund beat PSG, right? PSG stay where they are, or even if PSG beat Dortmund, it's who Newcastle and Milan draw, and they're both on 6 points. Who goes through there? Who's got the better head?
I think Newcastle do.
Now, did Newcastle? Hang on, the PSG draw and Dortmund. PSG go through. PSG draw. Newcastle win. Yeah, it's if Newcastle and Milan draw and they're both on the same points. That's the one that's the crux of it. Who's going to go
Look,
through to
I hope Newcastle do well tomorrow night. I look, we're covering the game. I am going to be back in Newcastle, Philip, all the way.
I am too.
So I know you be in Dublin doing your Phil Collins.
No, Wednesday night's me bingo night.
No, Phil Collins, the drummer.
No, Wednesday night's bingo. Tomorrow night's
for
Phil
Tuesday
Collins.
Dublin, but Phil Collins used to play
whatever
drums for. Used to play for Genesis, the drums before he took over lead singer.
That's it.
Now, Mr. Brady, I could have said you're doing your Tom Jones. I was trying to pay you a compliment, but
go on,
if you want,
go on.
Yeah. Anyway, who's already qualified? The 12 teams have qualified for the Champions League are Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Real Sociedad, Inter Milan, Man City, RB Leipzig, Atletico Madrid, Lazio, Dortmund, Barcelona, Arsenal, PSV.
Yeah.
So, Philip, I have a question here for you, and it's really, where did I put it? Right, with 12 teams already gone into the round of 16, who or which team, who's your team to win the Champions League?
I predicted at the start Manchester City to retain it.
Why?
Just they'll come stronger as the season gets longer. They will get stronger. I just don't think the only other team I can see possibly doing something on them would be Real Madrid or Barcelona. I don't see Arsenal doing it. I don't see Dortmund doing it, and or Lazio, Atletico Madrid, Leipzig. No, I think that the big gun. Bayern Munich could be an outside. Harry Kane might just have something to say about that.
Yeah,
Bayern Munich could be an outside bet for us. But again, that's going to depend on the draw.
Yeah, look,
the draw
for me,
is important there.
For me, I've said it from the start, and in my head, I think Inter Milan can go all the way this year. I've been really impressed with them in the Champions League this year, Inter Milan.
Yeah.
Madrid as well have been good. Dortmund have been brilliant. Barcelona's and Real Madrid, it's always them too.
Yeah.
But look, Carl Simpson says Madrid are going to win it, Philip. He says Atletico Madrid are going to win it.
Maybe. Carl makes another very good point. And just to go back to the Newcastle game a bit.
Yeah.
That means if that's the case, Newcastle go through because they've got a better goal difference.
Yeah, they do. They do. Well, they're on 0 and Milan are on -4.
-2, yeah.
-4. Yeah.
Milan have only scored 3 goals in 5 games.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
So look, Philip, we are covering these matches tomorrow.
On Wednesday.
And Wednesday. How fun do you think? Look, I want to just finish very quickly, Philip, just on the Champions League and European football as a whole before we finish off. But you look back in the day, I feel it was more exciting when you got to this stage because it was a knockout system. If you lost, you're out. That's it.
Yeah.
2 games, home and away, that was it.
Yeah.
Now, with it being extended into a league system, Philip, next season, do you feel that the Super League has already come? That the teams that broke away to do the Super League have got their way for what the Champions League is now turning into?
Partially. It's probably the start of it. They've partially got their way, you know. But I think you say about the knockout stage has been exciting. The last game of any knockouts, any group stage is always exciting because there's 4 teams still to qualify there. So that's quite exciting tomorrow night and Wednesday night. But yeah, the Super League, probably has. This is the first round of it. It'll grow legs as things go on. If next season is successful, there'll be something else added onto it then, which will basically mean it's a Super League and nothing but name only. It's a Super League, but not called a Super League.
One last question before we end off, Philip. There's a lot of players saying they're tired, and I was watching the Gary Lineker podcast he does with Alan Shearer and Micah Richards on YouTube, and I haven't watched all of it, but the bits I have watched, they were talking about player fatigue and how back in the day that players just got on with it, just rolled up the sleeves and got on with it, Philip. Do you think the players of today are too needy or too, how can I put it? I suppose needy is the word. That they're too pampered.
I don't think so. Like back in
Compared
those
to back
days,
in the day.
back in the day, there wasn't as many games in the Champions League, right? You're paying a minimum of 6 games.
No, I
Whereas
meant
if you're in
football
the
in general, Philip. Football in general. Now, compared to back in the day, do you feel players now are too pampered or too, you know, is there too many games?
there's too many games. Oh, absolutely, too many games. Right? Okay, they're getting well paid for it. They're getting really well paid for it. So, and the fact is, there's so much downtime, off time. They should be fit for 2 games a season, 2 games a week, right? We're lucky. Spurs. The one thing is in Spurs' favour this season, we're only going to have 1 game a week, except when the FA Cup starts, and that is good for us at the moment. So I think players are pampered. Yes, they're overpaid, definitely. Are they entitled to start moaning about too many matches? Probably. Because if you got like the likes of Newcastle, they played on Sunday afternoon, finished up at 7 o'clock, 6:30 against us, right? And 72 hours later, they're playing one of the most important game of the season against AC Milan. And then having to travel back up to Newcastle in the meantime. It's a fair old thing against a team that's absolutely out on its legs already, you know?
Yeah, but they've got private jets and things like this, Philip. They're
They
not
have,
like...
I know they have. I know that, but still a lot of traveling. You're still traveling regardless.
I said it on Dave's earlier on tonight that back in the day, men were men when they came to playing football.
Oh, true enough. Yeah, true enough. Yeah. You wouldn't have found the likes of Billy Bremner or Dave Mackay complaining. You know, they would just go on with it.
Oh, Steve Perriman or Graham Roberts and that. But anyway, Carl Simpson says, you wait, give it 2 seasons. The Saudi...
that's it.
Yeah, Saudi winners will be... I do apologise. I've got the hiccups a little bit, so I do apologise. The Saudi winners will be allowed in it. And big up to Dan Davenport. He firstly said, big up Dermatron and Phil. Big up Dan. And he says, bless him, yes, too many fixtures. English League need a winter break like they do in rest. But I'll tell you one thing, Dan. We're going to kick that off on Thursday in the roundtable discussion. That is one of the topics we're going to start off on. So thank you very much for giving us our start and talking point. That's the end of the show, Philip. I've enjoyed this. So join me tomorrow because Philip's not here for Newcastle against AC Milan. Wednesday, we're going to do...
No, you're wrong way around. Man United tomorrow night.
Man United tomorrow night.
Newcastle on Wednesday.
Newcastle Wednesday. The roundtable discussion on Thursday. We've got the roundtable discussion plus the slight build up to the Forest game. Friday, you'll have all the predicted lineup for me and Philip. You'll have our pre-game thoughts before the watch-along, and then we'll be there. Is it a 7:45 kickoff, Philip, or an 8 o'clock kickoff Friday?
I'm not quite sure yet. Probably 8 o'clock, I would say. We'll
7:45, we will be on here. And then Saturday, we've got the Cockerel Clock podcast, stroke post-match show. And then Sunday, Philip, we'll have a break. Monday, we'll start all over again. Another week of Vange Ball. Philip, thank you so much for coming on this evening.
8 o'clock on Friday. 8 o'clock on Friday. Yeah.
Right, look, we'll see any last words, Philip? Do you want to give our lovely viewers?
No, I think it's a big week for Man United and Newcastle. I think only one of them will come out smiling, and that'll be Newcastle.
And then Sunday, we're not off Sunday. Sunday, we are.
Oh man, Liverpool and Man United. That could be the last knock-ins for Ten Hag.
Yeah. Are you back tomorrow, Dermot? Yeah, we're back at 4 o'clock with Newsbeat, and then I'm back tomorrow night at 7:30 for the Man United versus Bayern Munich watch along. Then the Newcastle one on Wednesday, Dan. So you'll have a double help in the Dermatron tomorrow.
I have to get visitors here. I'll have to go.
Yeah, sorry. I'll let you go. Listen, you go. I finish off.
Yeah,
I'll
all
do
the best. Yeah.
Okay, all the best now. There goes Philip. So that's what we got tomorrow. So enjoy your evening, guys. Come on, you Spurs. In Big Ange, we trust. See you later.